We're beginning this broadcast from Pakistan, where the Apex Court is hearing the petitions challenging the Supreme Court Practice and Procedure Act. The 15-member full court bench, headed by the newly appointed Chief Justice of Pakistan, Qazi Faez Isa, is hearing the case. The hearing is being televised live on state television. Now, the bill is aimed at regulating the powers of the CJP. It was approved by the Parliament during a joint sitting on April 10th. The National Assembly on April 21st then notified the Supreme Court of the Bill of 2023, that is Practice and Procedure Bill 2023, as an act. However, even before it became an act, the bill was challenged in the Supreme Court. And on April 13th then, the same bench hearing the case halted its implementation, observing that the bill would not be acted upon in any manner till further order. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party had earlier petitioned the top court to declare the act as ultra-vires to the constitution, which basically means that the act is beyond Parliament's legislative competence and is unlawful in that it impinges on the independence of the judiciary. Now, previously on June, an 8-member bench headed by former Chief Justice Umar Bandial heard the petitions challenging the constitutional right of the law aimed at curtailing the suo motu powers of the Supreme Court's top judge. The similarities between the Supreme Court Review of Judgments and Order Act 2023 and the SC Practice and Procedure Act were discussed with Attorney General for Pakistan, Mansoor Usman Awan, saying that Parliament could look into harmonizing the two acts. Subsequently, the Attorney General told the ex-CJP that immediate legislation on the acts was not possible due to the upcoming budget session that was held on June 9th. Now, he requested the court to hold the hearing after this session, following which the hearings for the acts was scheduled for today. Now, to decode this further, I'm being joined by Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik. He's joining us live from the Supreme Court. Anas, welcome to the broadcast. What is the latest you're hearing from the Apex Court?
Well, I was inside the court, Ananya, a historical day, a historical first, where the proceedings of the Supreme Court are being televised. Not just that, a full court is hearing the case that pertains to the laws and procedures of the Supreme Court itself, something that was put on hold by the previous admins of this very Supreme Court where I am standing. Justice Qazi Faez Isa, the newly sworn in Chief Justice of Pakistan, the 29th Chief Justice of Pakistan, is hearing this case. There has been some back and forth, and it would not be wrong to say, just my observation, that for the first time perhaps we're seeing in history that the Supreme Court is defending the right of the Parliament, whereas those who are the petitioners are defending the right of the Supreme Court. There is some sort of, how one can put it, some sort of ambiguity or not so clarity in the arguments that have been presented. As we speak, the court has gone on a short break, and after that it will reconvene. We're expecting some sort of judgment, if be that be a short order or be that be an interim order on the whole on the stay that was granted by the previous admins on this very case sometime later today. Ananya?
Right. Anas, as you mentioned, it is a very complex case that maybe other countries, or in fact in Pakistan also, hardly the people must have seen. If you could just explain the legal process from here. You mentioned a short order or an interim order that we are expecting today. From here, how is it looking legally?
Well, there are a lot of legal challenges and hurdles going forward in case if this short order comes through or if this stay is overturned. That means that essentially the Friday verdict that was issued by Justice Bandial, the former Chief Justice of Pakistan, Justice Umar Bandial, that would be overturned, that would be null and void. This particular case would open a lot of avenues again for those who have just had their cases reopened by the National Accountability Bureau. 2027 cases have been reopened in lieu of the order that was issued just this past Friday. With that, this case particularly has to do, or this act particularly has to do with the democratization of the Supreme Court, where the orders are not limited to the Chief Justice, but in fact they have been further diverged and diluted to three members, first being the Chief Justice and the other two being the senior most judges in the Supreme Court. So that remains the essential core of the problem, because people who are arguing against the act, they say that the power should remain with the Chief Justice, whereas the Chief Justice says that it is the Parliament who has to decide, and if it is an act of Parliament, then we will have to ensure that it should be done in Latin and in spirit, without any ifs and buts. Ananya.
All right, Anas, thank you for getting us all those updates from Islamabad.